Hello everyone. In this video I want to talk about different methods for smoothing in Blender. Since we've gotten used to creating primitive objects, I've gone ahead and created a sphere and a cylinder and a cone, and I've set my cone on top of my cylinder so that it's just like a little tower. Now let's go in. We are in object mode. Let's go in and select our sphere. As you can see, it's very faceted, and in most cases with a sphere, unless we're creating a disco scene, we're going to want that to be smooth. That can be accomplished very easily over in our transform panel by simply going down to shading and selecting smooth. And as we see, I'm going to get into orthographic view so this is a little easier to view. You can see that we have a nice smooth sphere. That's all well and good. However, undo that. Oops. Don't hit Shift Z, hit Control Z. However, if we select our cone and our cylinder, and by the way, in object mode, I combine these meshes by selecting them both and hitting Control J to make it one mesh. So if we select this, if we hit smooth now, we can see there's a problem, especially if we go into perspective mode. We start to spin around, we see our bottom edge and our edge around our tower top. It's a perfect side, it looks okay, but it's not rendering very well because it's been smoothed, and those were edges that we wanted to keep sharp. So there's a couple different ways that we can go about doing this. The first is to add a modifier. So we can smooth, and then we can come over to our wrench panel, select add modifier, and then we're going to come down in our generate to edge split. And that gives us a split angle of 30 degrees. And what that means is anything under 30 degrees will get smoothed and anything over 30 degrees won't. And as you can see, that's fixed our problem right out of the box. Now we can change those degrees to whatever we want, but that worked just fine for us. So we have a nice little tower, sharp edges where we want them, smooth edges where we want them. So that's awesome. Now, there is also another way to do this. So I'm going to get out of there, and I'm going to get out of there. Next to that panel, we have an object edit. If we go in here, we can also select auto smooth, and I've given it the same angle of 30 that we saw in the previous one just for continuity. It usually pops up with 180, so you can just change that. And we can check that on, and now we hit smooth, and you see we get the same results. So that's awesome. What if we want to do some smoothing in edit mode though? I'm going to select our sphere. I'm going to go to 3, 5. Now I'm going to hit Z to go to wireframe. And then I'm going to go to box. I'm going to deselect. I'm going to hit B for box select. And I'm just going to select half of this. Of course, I have to tab into actual edit mode to do that. Alright, so we have half of this selected. Now we're in edit mode, so pretty much everything works exactly the same way. The only difference is over here, you will have to go down to your shading and UVs instead of your tools. You can see down here we have a smooth vertex and deform, which we don't want, but we don't have our smoothing tools. But if we come down to shading and UVs, since smoothing affects shading, you can see that we have several options for smoothing either faces, edges, or vertices. So if we smooth these faces, and then we tab back out, you can see we've smoothed part of our mesh. So that's one more way for us to attack smoothing individual objects, or pieces of a whole object. And I believe that should just about cover everything we need to deal with in smoothing for right now. I'm going to go ahead and see you guys in the next video.